Everyone laughed in his eyes, but a decade later they regretted it. They labeled him cursed before he could even speak. Amcha was born amid a thunderstorm in a distant Nigerian village called Umuk. His mother ads gave birth to him alone in their mud brick hut after her husband fled the delivery room upon seeing the child's blue eyes glowing faintly even in darkness. The midwife screamed and crossed herself, saying, "This is not a child, this is an omen." From that night, whispers shadowed him like a ghost. Kids refused to sit next to him at school. Elders warned their children not to play with the boy who carried storms in his eyes. His own father never came back home. And although Ads loved her son fiercely, even she couldn't shield him from the village's contempt. When Amiche was 5, he was excluded from group photos at school. By age 7, a market woman claimed her crops spoiled because he had walked past her stall. At 9, when the village well dried up for 2 days, someone threw a rock through their window with a note, "Take your demon child and leave." But Amiche was no demon. He was kind, quiet, deeply curious. While others mocked him, Amiche found solace in drawing. His mother would give him charcoal and scraps of paper from the back of the church, and he'd spend hours sketching trees, animals, and people from memory, always with piercing accuracy. His drawings weren't just precise, they shimmered with life as if he saw things others couldn't. Once, his teacher peeked over his shoulder and gasped. Amche had drawn a woman crying with raindrops falling inside her house, yet it wasn't raining. Later that day, the teacher received news that her sister had died and it had begun to rain during the funeral hundreds of miles away. "He sees truth," the teacher whispered, "even the hidden ones." That terrified people even more. Ads tried to keep him safe. At night, she would pull them close and whisper, "Your eyes are not a curse, my son. They're a key, but the world doesn't yet know which door you'll open." When Anja turned 10, something terrible happened. A fire broke out at the village chapel. People said they saw a shadow moving through the smoke. One boy claimed he saw blue lights within the flames. It didn't matter that Amiche had been at home that day, sick with his mother by her side. The rumor was enough. They came in the night with torches, shouting stones. A man screamed. He cursed the house of God. "Drive him out." His mother stood at the door with arms wide, saying, "If you take him, you'll have to go through me." They pushed her aside. Amicha didn't scream, nor did he cry. He only looked up at the people he once called neighbors with eyes like shattered sky and walked away. He packed his sketchbook, a broken pencil, and the scarf his mother used to wrap his head as a baby. She held his trembling hands, whispering, "Go, not because you're cursed, but because the world is too small to hold your light right now." He kissed her forehead and entered the forest. That was the last time she saw him. Amiche wandered for days barefoot and hungry. He ate roots, drank from rivers, and slept under trees. In Enugu, a man selling oranges offered him a job sweeping his stall. A maker worked quietly and never complained. At night, he sketched under streetlights. One evening, a customer left behind a magazine. Its cover displayed a painting that made Amiche freeze. It was abstract, just colors and movement, but to him, it looked like music had taken form. He read the caption, "Modern Vision, the art of seeing emotion." From that day, he saved every cent he earned. He bought paints from street vendors. He found cardboard boxes and trash bins, transforming them into canvases. He painted at night behind the orange stall, his fingers blistered, his eyes shining. People began to notice. A photographer passing by asked to photograph his work. Amja said nothing, just nodded. 2 weeks later, that photo appeared in an art blog in Lagos. Within a month, a gallery curator traveled over 200 miles to find the boy with stormy eyes. "You didn't go to art school?" she asked. He shook his head. "I couldn't even finish regular school." But his art needed no words to speak. By 14, he had his first exhibition. By 16, he was on a plane to France, his first time leaving Nigeria. The boy once cursed now stood before crowds, explaining color theory through a translator. Yet, amid the applause, one memory never left him, his mother's whispering voice of hope. He never revealed his full story. He let his art tell it. But on the night before his 20th birthday, Amchi received a letter written in trembling script. "My son, if you still walk this earth, know that I kept your room exactly the same. The villagers now speak your name not with fear, but with pride. Come home, if only once. I would love to see what those eyes have become." He folded the letter gently, gazed out the window, and decided to return to the place that cast him out, to the people who once laughed. They had no idea what he carried with him. The plane landed in Enugu just before dawn. Imcha stepped into Nigeria's warm air for the first time in nearly a decade. Tall, elegant in posture, with dreadlocks pulled back and a satchel of sketchbooks over his shoulder, he wore tinted glasses hiding the storm behind his eyes. But inside, that storm still swirled. Calmer now, more focused. He returned not with bitterness, not seeking revenge, but bearing something greater. As the car neared Umyuk, the driver slowed. Villagers lined the road in silence. No cheers, no bows, just watchful eyes. Some with guilt, some with awe. Children who once threw stones now stood with their own sons, pointing. "That's him," one whispered, "the boy with the sky in his eyes." Imcha requested to stop at the chapel first, the one that had burned all those years ago. It had been rebuilt, humbler and smaller. But something new now adorned the wall outside. A mural, his mural, a woman in white holding a blue-eyed baby, surrounded by light. Beneath read, "The one we fear became the one who sees." Tears welled in his eyes. When he reached his childhood home, Ads was waiting at the gate. Thinner now, her hair gray, but her eyes, those loving, defiant eyes, hadn't changed. They didn't speak immediately. She simply stepped forward, placed her hand on his face, and whispered, "You've come home, my son." He broke, years of silence cracking apart. They embraced as if the earth itself might split beneath them. That night, Amjo invited the entire village to a field near the chapel. A large white tent had been set up days earlier by his team of curators, coordinators, and translators, yet no one told the villagers why. Under the tent, 20 giant canvases covered by black veils awaited. As the crowd gathered, Imcha stepped forward, removed his glasses, and looked them in the eyes, first time in a long while. No one laughed. They stared in silence, many seeing their reflection in those glowing, pale irises. He spoke softly. "You feared me because I looked different. You called me names, drove me away, left scars you could not see. But I thank you, because pain gave me purpose, and purpose brought me vision." He turned to the canvases one by one, pulling away the veils. The first revealed the village mud walls, the way it looked when he left. The next depicted a single mother shielding her child from fire. Another showed a blue-eyed boy walking alone into a dark forest. The crowd murmured, faces turning pale. But then, a shift. A painting of hands building together. A boy offering light from his palms. A village bathed in color, with smiles stitched into every detail. Each image told a part of the story, his story, their story. And at the center, a nearly 10-foot tall canvas, a portrait of a woman, her face regal, illuminated by thousands of strokes. Around her flowed a river of children, black, brown, pale, holding books, brushes, dreams. The crowd stood silent, then erupted into applause, first hesitant, then thunderous. Some wept openly. An elder approached, knelt, and said, "We were wrong. Imcha, forgive us." Imcha nodded. "Forgiveness is a gift, but I didn't come back to give it. I came to give you something else." Behind him, his team unveiled Blueprints, the AMA Center for Vision and Voice, a state-of-the-art community arts and education facility funded entirely by EMA's foundation. It would offer free art programs, mental health support, and scholarships for gifted rural youth across Nigeria. Children would no longer be silenced for being different. They would be seen. They would be heard. The villagers erupted in cheers. Later that night, under stars that looked like brushstrokes, Ad sat beside her son, holding his hand. "You turned their fear into beauty," she said. He smiled. "You taught me how." The next day, a new boy entered the village, vitiligo, wearing a hoodie, eyes cast downward. A group of children pointed. One said, "Leave him alone." But another replied, "Don't you know what Amcha says? What makes you different is what makes you magic." The boy looked up, smiled, and somewhere in the distance, the sky shimmered just a little bluer than usual. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.